I wanted to take this trip down memory lane to celebrate my personal successes throughout my business journey. And the reason why I wanted to share this with you is not so much to gloat or to boast, but more to share with you how I did not expect for myself to be here when I quit pharmacy and started doing tutoring full time. I didn't think that I would hire tutors. I didn't think that I'd start publishing study guides. I didn't think that teachers in schools would use my work, and I really didn't think that I would eventually start another business where I coach other tutors to start their own tutoring businesses and doing a TED talk, and there's just so much to it. So I just wanted to take some time to go through a little bit of the journey with you and also my key lessons through achieving many of these milestones or accomplishments. So currently when this video is being posted, I have been working on Lisa's study guides for almost 6 years officially. So in 2015, I decided to go into tutoring full-time by myself. I would reach capacity and so very quickly had to hire my first tutor, but I actually didn't incorporate my business and make it an official company until June 2016. We're almost at that 6-year mark. And so here's a snapshot of some of LSG's key successes. So we've done over $1 million in revenue. We've had over 1,000 tutoring students. We've conducted almost 30,000 hours of tutoring. These are numbers that I actually pulled out for my team in March earlier this year because I wanted us to see our successes together as a team. I'm really glad that I decided to hire tutors, especially early on, because by investing in people and investing in a team who could help me actually do the tutoring work, that enabled me to then go on to hire more people, to then go on and build out a curriculum for our students and for us to start getting better known as a reputable company in this space. You know, hiring tutors, especially in the beginning, was really scary. I had questions such as, why would a tutor want to work for me? What can I offer them? And how do I actually retain them for the long term? Especially because for tutors who I hire, it's a very transient period in their lives where they're just getting into university. So they usually only stick around for about 3 to 5 years before moving on to their careers. But ultimately, I'm really glad that I hired these tutors because if I were to have done it on my own, I reached capacity, and so I could have only impacted that many number of students that I was helping, which was probably around 20 to 30 students, which is still quite a large number. But knowing that as a business, we've impacted over 1,000 students through one-on-one tutoring, that is unbelievable. And if I wanted to make it even more tangible, which I do have to, because I think when you become a business owner, the numbers just kind of become numbers and it kind of dehumanizes the experience. A lot of these people would have achieved even better scores in their subjects than they would have ever anticipated. And what this could have meant was that it really impacted their final high school score, which would have really impacted their ability to access courses in university and which ones they could actually enroll for. So the higher the score you get in Australia, the more opportunities you get to apply for different types of courses and careers. And even just the other day, I got reconnected again with a student of mine from a long time ago, and she's doing dentistry now. She is a dentist, which is absolutely bizarre because it shows how long it's been since I actually tutored her. But even just grappling onto that one example helps me understand that, wow, we've helped over 1,000 students. Imagine how much we actually impacted their lives. When it comes to our study guides, we have 28 published study guides. We've sold almost 6,000 of them, donated to 3 different charities, and donated almost $3,000 to charities. One big lesson here was actually just letting go and trusting others to create amazing material that would be well reciprocated by students and teachers out there. So early on, I created majority of our guides, but I soon realized that I would be actually a bottleneck in in the business if I just kept creating these guides on my own. And plus, when we started to do more tech specific guides, I knew that I wasn't going to be the best expert out there on these guides, which meant that I started hiring some of my tutors to write these guides. And I'm so glad that I learned the lesson of delegating and letting go and trusting and believing in my team, because that can be really scary when you've done everything on your own for so long and you know the quality and standard that you're going to create for yourself, but you don't exactly know what that quality and standard will be when you pass it on to someone else. But you know, that's just an excuse. I think for me, what I learned was that my quality was actually not necessarily as good as someone else, because I was so tied up in all these different aspects of actually running a business and being a CEO, whereas this person could just focus on working on the study guide. The other thing I learned here was just to create standards that you communicate between you and that person you've hired. So let them know what you want the outcome to be and what milestones they need to reach in order to make that happen. Let them know this is what I expect to see as a final outcome. So the more you can communicate with them, the more you can be on the same page, and therefore the more likely you're going to get a result that you're happy with as a business owner. Now, I want to talk a little bit about my personal achievements during this time as well. So you may know that I was given the opportunity to do a TED Talk. I also won an Antil 30 Under 30 award, which is an Australian award for business owners. And these happened about 2 to 3 years into me starting my business. And one thing that I would say reflecting back is I've learned a lot about what I should value and how values change over time. So initially I loved, and I'm going to be honest with you, I thought it was awesome that I was getting this recognition, but what that meant afterwards was after I'd done the TED Talk, after I'd gotten the Antil 30 Under 30, I was seeking for that next sense of recognition and that next achievement goal, which just gets harder and harder. I mean, how can you beat a TED Talk? That's pretty damn awesome, right? And I mean, not everybody gets that opportunity. So I think for me, I started to build these values into my business that were not necessarily the best values for me to have. And I talk about this in more detail in an Instagram post, but basically, rather than valuing recognition and achievement, I now value my inner peace as a business owner. So making decisions that align with me and where I want to be in life, not just in business, but even outside of life as well, because it's really important for us to remember as business owners that we do have lives outside of work, and that it's not okay, in my opinion, to only be focused and place all your values and how you see achievement all just in this little bottle of a business. Instead of my own achievements as well, what I'm really invested now is actually the achievements of my team. And that's a really wholesome and really meaningful way for me to define success now, because if my team is successful, I am also ultimately successful. But what I'm doing is I'm empowering and I'm enabling my team to achieve their best potential. And naturally, in doing this, this actually helps my business scale as well. So it's a win-win situation for both me and my employees, but I know that my employees get even more out of their work when I have this mindset towards them. And so if you're somebody who is looking to scale your business, whether it's right now or sometime in the future, I'd really love to share with you my free masterclass, Master Your Tutoring Game Plan, where I go through over 90 minutes of jam-packed value, 3 of the top mistakes tutors make when running their own tutoring businesses, how you can start working on your business rather than in it, and what are the steps you need to make in order for you to actually start scaling your business successfully. Now, if you've watched this video all the way until the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if you have, give me some feedback by leaving down a comment with the word success, just so that I know that you've come all the way to the end of this video and that you found it helpful and that I should do more videos like this. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next week.